What is the definition of racism?
While it was a peaceful protest in Montana filled with Black Lives Matter demonstrators demanding an end to racial injustice and police brutality in this country, until this white man entered the scene, caught on tape, cursing at demonstrators, knocking down protest signs, getting in folks' faces, even going so far as screaming at a priest who tried to reason with him.
You know what? I shoot 3 tumors. Peaceful. Don't you do this, dude? Peaceful. 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 Peaceful.
It's a lot of bleeping. The man was arrested and charged with disorderly conduct. There was one woman there who wasn't having it and bravely faced down this man. Her name is Samantha Francine. She talked to Brianna Keeler about the whole thing.
These are the very same actions that were committed by this woman, Katrina White. The only difference is this woman is a paralegal. We know this because she voluntarily submitted her certificate and her educational background. Here is her paralegal certificate. Her name is Katrina White. This all started from a Facebook group post that was to inform people who were receiving the targeted advance that the offset of the advance was illegal. And it ended somewhere where she was calling me a dumb nigger. She also told me that she hopes that I'm the next George Floyd because I'm worthless. She also said that I will probably be the next Michael Brown because I refuse to comply with authority and I think I'm above the law that I don't have to comply. His hands weren't up. He refused to follow the law. Wow. So this is how it all started. So I had mentioned child support being the reason of my offset. And of course, I did receive some negative feedback from other members, but there was nothing compared to Katrina White's comments. Besides being a deadbeat, she also accused me of being a child murderer, a child abuser, a drug dealer, and a number of other things. This woman did not know me from Adam from Eve, yet she was trying to put these negative jackets on me, and I didn't know why. She claimed she had special access to court records, and she claimed that she went into my confidential child adjudication file, where she then began telling events from that court case within the public comments of the Facebook group. But for right now, we are arguing over the fact that she is accusing me of being a deadbeat for trying to stop an invalid and unenforceable child support order. And here is when she begins to validate her paralegal certification. So, since she was a paralegal, I wanted her to validate a Supreme Court decision that was based off of child support, since she was accusing of me being a deadbeat. She kept avoiding the question that I was asking her, and instead, she just kept insulting me and slandering me. Regardless of the evidence that I had in the other comment sections, which she was also a part of, she was still insulting me for something that I approved myself not to be. So by the time we get to this point, she had reported one of the comments that I had made and landed me in 30-day Facebook jail. So by the end of all this, there was another group member who had stood up for me, and Katrina White stood in and told her to Google my name and the state I lived in, and that you'll see charges from homicide to neglect. So I went ahead and sent her a direct message to her Facebook account, telling her that she reported me and got me blocked, and that I wanted to continue our debate in her Facebook messages. She began insulting me and telling me that I was responsible for the death of the infant who was in my child adjudication case at the time of whom I was with his mother, telling me that she was going to take our conversation to the judge. So I explained to her how this wasn't true and how I was innocent, and she began to insult me by telling me that's why I didn't have my child. So I let her know that she was misreading the things that she was having special access to. So again, I told her where she was wrong, and she just continued to insult me some more. She began telling me that I had a child with a hoe who had many kids by different men, and she didn't support them, and the state took them away. This was clearly not the case or what's written in the case. And she continued to insult me some more, and I went ahead and gave her some more clarification. Well, by this point, I wasn't for sure exactly what she had against me personally, because her argument had nothing to do with the original post. And now it was all over my child support order, my child adjudication order, and the allegations and the events that happened within that order, while trying to accuse me of being a child abuser, a non child supporter, and a baby murderer. So I had to ask her, is this because I'm black? She goes on to tell me that she is not racist because she has biracial grandkids, but accuses me of being the typical black man. And goes on to describe this typical black man and tells me that that's me because I played the race card. And that the N word can be any color, it's just a description of a worthless loser. And went on to tell me that Martin Luther King supported his kids and that I don't. She also says she hopes that I'm the next GF, which means George Floyd, because I'm worthless. And just a side question for the last comment she made in the first paragraph. At what point in time has this woman shown me any compassion? So I let her know where her comment was clearly racist. She continues to describe the typical black man and then tells me that there's no injustice for support the child that I created, and finally moves in to call me a dumb nigger, that I should create a human is just as much as your right to provide as it is a woman. You impregnate a whore with many baby daddies, what do you expect? So I go ahead and tell her where her comments are getting more racist. She goes in to insult me and accusing me for playing the race card for simply asking what she had against me, because we were now well past the child support opinion she had. She goes in and trying to say that I told the SBA that I'm a drug dealer and that that was an eligible business for the targeted advance, which is clearly false. She then goes in to tell me that I will probably be the next Michael Brown. So this is twice she has insinuated that I need to be shot and killed by police officers. Now she goes in to say I'm just a deadbeat who impregnated a white crack whore with many baby daddies. I'm uneducated and abusing the system. Keep in mind, these are her definitions of the term for a typical black man. So when I told her that my child's mother was black, she say, the bitch had how many kids and you worked at Goodwill, the state paid your utilities, you're a non-contributing member of society. Yep, most crack hoes are black, sell their kids for a rock. Whore, not white. Finally, she goes on to say, what's relevant is your typical. Avoid the system. Impregnated whores with many baby daddies that nobody daddy supports the kids. No one has education and expects social agencies to foot the bill. Typical. If black people want equality, they should contribute to society equally. By this point, I couldn't do anything else but simply just tell her to keep them coming. She goes on some more to describe me as the typical black man and tells me that she can only pray the cops pull me over. She was mocking those black men who were killed by police. So let's talk about what just happened. So this is Katrina White. She is a paralegal who claims to be living in Oklahoma and practicing in Oklahoma, but records actually show that she is a resident of North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Just like attorneys and judges, paralegals are to maintain a professional mannerism in the public. Need the less to say, engage in racism. Fortunately, paralegals have a model code of ethics and professional responsibility that they must abide by.